Let's go. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Look, it's time. It's time. It's football time. It's time to yak some football because in less than 6 days, I was gonna say less than 5 days, we're gonna know who's going to the Super Bowl. We're gonna know. We're gonna
Yeah.
have the contenders. I feel like I already know. I don't know if you feel like. I don't know if people feel like, but I feel like I already know. Who do you got going?
I was gonna say, if you already know, I have question marks.
Okay.
Who do you have going?
Let me answer your questions then, because I can do that. I think this is a no-brainer. Well, before I answer my question, before I answer your questions, what are your picks? I gotta know what your picks are. You gotta have an idea at least.
I think it's going to be, if it's a healthy Mahomes, I think it's going to be the Chiefs and Eagles.
That's kind of the thing of it, is a healthy Mahomes, right? Like,
well, okay, yeah, he's not going to be 100%, like an 80% Mahomes. It's going to be a really good game.
Is 80% good enough for this matchup? This is gonna be fantastic. Can we say that these are fantastic matchups? Can we start there?
Yeah, like last week. Okay, I was like, okay, maybe Dallas will pull this off. They messed it up, and now it's like 7 times in a row they lost in division round. I'm like, so I know where my money's going next year, but I don't know. I think the Bengals are just too hot right now. Like they just like they did last year. They're coming on at the right time. They looked good. They look better than they did earlier in the season. They're progressing in the right way. And it could be the Bengals. I'm not even going to hate on it. Bengals are a strong team. They were there last year. I just hope they don't turn into the Bills and go to the Super Bowl 4 times in a row and end up losing.
Well, this is the thing. So I had the Bills. I had Bills Eagles. When the playoffs started, I had Bills Eagles. And I don't know, the day of the Bills Bengals game, I instantly knew I made the wrong decision. I don't know why I didn't think it through before. I was just really high on the Bills. I was really high on Hamlin. I was still emotional about the whole thing. I was feeling that the Bills were going to be too. And then the day of the game, I kind of like woke up and I was like, what am I thinking? What was I thinking? The Bengals are definitely going to win this game. Like, they're so good. Joe Cool, so good. Their defense, so under the radar, but it's good. It's a good defense. And so going to and of course they had complete control of that entire game. There was really no, I don't think, did you ever have a question? Did you ever think that
I was going for the Bills, so I wanted Josh Allen to make the show, I think they just need a little bit extra help, and I think they'll probably fix that during the this next off season and of course the draft. But I still think the Bills are a good team. Unfortunately, Burrow has a lot of young talent around him, and like it's now and never, like they're playing for it. So I could see them going again pretty. I only say that because if the Bengals go, I still think the Eagles are going to go. And then I would be wanting the Bengals to win only because the Eagles had won recently. That's the only reason why. Like that, I don't know. And I kind of like Mahomes and the Chiefs, so I would like them to go and win. I don't really want the 49ers recently too. Yeah, they have. But they've also been to 5 straight championship games. So, they've earned their spot. I don't know. I just feel like, and of course the storybook, I love the underdog story of Brock Purdy and the Niners. Like if he could, I don't think he can pull it off past the Eagles, but it would be fun to see. He's got Kittle and McCaffrey. I'd love McCaffrey to get, a ring. That'd be phenomenal. I love it when teams, people go to a new team in the first year, they get a ring. I enjoy that. So, I mean, it's like there's all these little stories that would go with them. Like I just want to see really good games. This past weekend, I was like, well, this game's over. This game's over. Like I turned on the, I'm watching the Eagles Giants or whatever, and I'm like 14-0. Next, Like this game's over. Like there is no 14-point comeback coming from the Giants. They're just not made for that.
This thing is getting in my face today. I don't know if it's going to make a difference. If it does, tell me, I'll put it back. Welcome to Yards After the Catch, everybody. It is the conference weekend, conference championship weekend, right? And you got those? Awesome. Co-host with the most right there. And we have some fabulous matchups. We're going to talk about what got us here. We're definitely going to talk about Brock Purdy. We're going to talk about Trevor Lawrence. We're going to talk about the youngest assembly of quarterbacks in the conference championship games in a very long time. We've just got a lot of top football to talk about, and we're glad that you guys have joined us, or if you're catching this later, still leave some comments, subscribe, like, do the whole thing, interact. We love to have you, and we appreciate you. We got a couple more shows left, and, I'm excited about it, but let's talk about what got us here. So in order to talk about what got us here, let's talk about the games that we saw to get us here, if that makes sense. I'm talking about the Jaguars and the Chiefs. Jaguars and the Chiefs. A lot of hype coming in. Trevor Lawrence making that monster comeback, which was, I'm telling you, I was watching that game, and I kind of watched the first half, and it was just on. And the Chargers had jumped out front, which was great because I had the Chargers winning. And they're up by like 27 points going into halftime. And then I kind of just keep checking the TV. And Jaguars score. Oh, that's cool. Oh, Jaguars scored again. Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay. Jaguars scored again. What's going on right here? Jaguar. Okay, we got a game. Like they could pull this off. And then they end up pulling it off. And so we go into this Jaguar KC game with a lot of if you ever saw the movie Great White Hype, where you're hyping up this team that you honestly just know is going to lose. Did you ever think that the Jaguars were going to pull this off going into this game? I can tell you right now, I was amazed. Things happen, but there was no doubt in my mind that Kansas City was going to win this game.
I had Chargers winning
well before.
And same reason why I drafted Herbert early. I figured he screwed me up a couple times the year before. I said, this guy's going to be on my team next year. I like what he's doing. He's putting up 50 burgers, and he screwed me all year long. And so I was like, you have to win this game.
You can't do it again.
Yeah. And no, I was just like, thanks for that. You didn't show up. And then everybody's getting fired. So that's good. Because you can't blow a huge lead like that.
You blew a 27-point lead with one of the most talented rosters in the National Football League.
Yeah, you can't
do that and think you're going to keep your job.
Your defense can't do that, and your offense can't slow down. And both of those things happened. And
we're talking from an actual and a fantasy perspective. I mean, Herbert, top 10 quarterback. Keenan Allen would have been a top 10 receiver if he hadn't gotten injured. His stats were great. Obviously, Eckler is number one RB, which also scares me. Don't want a tangent, but every time the number one RB, he's going to be the consensus number one fantasy pick next year. We ran a thing. We told you don't pick Taylor because it never works. We've gone back 10 years. We said how it never worked. We demonstrated every consensus number one running back has never finished there. Almost all of them haven't even finished in the top 10. JT, another stat to throw on the pile. And so now I'm worried about Eckler being number one. But I digress. Jacksonville, great story. No chance in this game until Mahomes gets hurt. When Mahomes gets hurt, now you think, oh, we might have a game. And then he comes back in the third quarter, and I don't care if he was healthy or not. The guy runs for a first down like on the second play, and he hurt his leg, but he ran that play. I'm like, okay, this is over. There's no way.
Well, good thing about Kansas City is their backup, Chad Henne, is actually pretty good QB and a wonderful backup to have. He has come in multiple times and helped out the Chiefs. So
he's
I
got NFL experience.
Yeah. So like 15 years. I don't know what it is, but
he knows his role.
Yeah. So, and he knows his role, he kicks back. So, okay, my time to go in. I'm gonna go stretch a little bit and
I'm gonna
take it out.
freaking, I'm gonna ride the pine. I'm gonna get myself
Yeah.
a ring. I'm gonna
And
I'm gonna
I'm gonna
get
go
back in.
70 yards for a touchdown.
It's gonna be
And
awesome.
yeah, so I think it was Kansas City has what it takes, even if they have to bring Chad Henne in a little bit. Um, it's a drop off because of what Mahomes does, but it's like you're going to
It's
spend
still
all your
like
time figuring
a
out
Kansas City
Mahomes.
drop off still doesn't even them out with everybody else. Like they're
Yeah,
that far above that a drop off still does not even it
and
out.
it blows my mind still to this day. People like Kittle, Kelsey, McCaffrey have nobody around them for 10 yards. I'm sorry. My game plan would be if you aren't connected at the hip on this guy, you come into the bench and someone else is going in there. Like these people are just wide open and I don't know why. Like I don't care if you're zone defense, man coverage. If you're going to pass them off, that next person better be within a few yards. I mean, like coming up at them.
I
Like
I
I
want to
just
get
don't
to
get
the
it.
next game, but I do want to bring up that point that you kind of brought up because you just named off like star players, obviously for 49ers, and we will talk about them, but you named off star players, and then you go to the Kansas City roster and you have Mahomes and Kelsey, and then everybody else. Everybody else is just kind of there. McKinnon can't. None of those guys are superstars. None of the
Yeah,
guys.
nobody's big name there.
If you're really deep into it and like linemen, offensive, defense, stuff like that, you might a couple names and stuff like that. There's a couple Pro Bowlers there and stuff, but this is not a star-studded roster. This is not Chase and Burrow and Mixon and Higgins and this isn't the Chargers roster that's filled with all kinds of household names. This is Mahomes, Kelsey, and
maybe
those other guys. That one guy,
McKinnon
that
and
guy from
Pacheco at running
Pittsburgh,
back.
that rookie running back, that other one who catches it. What's the other? Name me
Jerick McKinnon and Isaiah Pacheco. You
two
got
receivers.
Juju Smith-Schuster, Sky Moore, and I don't even know why I know these names. Not like I was putting up lineups or anything. Like not checking lineups this week. Just they don't have the star-studded
MVS.
lineup.
They got
Yeah,
I
and
mean, it's just it's ridiculous.
it's
That's how good Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelsey are. Like the other people, they need them there just in case, like because they can't do literally everything, but they can do damn near most of it. Giants, and they do. Giants, Eagles, again, another game that I didn't think it was going to be that lopsided, but 100% I knew the Eagles were going to win that game. And I mean, they came out and showed the world. Absolutely love the statement play. I think it was the second play of the game, 40-yard pass. The shoulder's fine, everybody. And that's when you knew the game was over. For me, that's when I knew the game was over. So a 40-yard pass from Hurts, because that was the big question going in. Again, it's kind of the same thing. How healthy is Mahomes going to be this week? Well, Hurts is finally coming back, hasn't played in a while. How's the shoulder? Is second play, 40-yard? Oh, okay. Never mind. This game's over. I literally stopped watching it. It was on, but I stopped watching. I think I watched maybe 2 minutes of the entire game after that.
Yeah, I probably watched maybe 2 minutes because of that. I was like, 14-0. Like it would have been different. It was 14-0 Giants. I'd be like, okay, this is going to be a game, but not the other way around. Not one of the top defenses with a solid offensive roster. So yeah, I was pass on that one. I didn't even watch it, to be honest with you.
I should have put a banner up. The Effin Sports Show, new show. It's going to be on all the time. And first show is this Friday night. We're going to be coming on this Friday night. We'll have the podcast to go with it. So look for stuff, the Effin Sports Show. You can find us on Twitter at the Effin Show. And you can check out the YouTube channel. There's nothing there yet, but you can go check it out the same place, YouTube handle at the Effin Show. Check us out Friday night. And one of the things we're going to be talking about is people losing their jobs. And so I bring that up during the Giants game because obviously Danny Dimes is a big subject. Will he be there? Should he be there? Should they pay him? Is he good enough? Et cetera, et cetera. And there's definitely two valid arguments, two valid sides to that argument. Does he just need more talent around him other than Saquon Barkley? If he was playing for Buffalo or Cincinnati, would we be having would it be a question, or is this just a situation where it's just time to try something new?
That's a really good question. I said the very beginning of the year, I said Danny Dimes doesn't get his act together and pull something, like he has to
You
carry the
did.
team.
I remember the show.
He has to carry that team if he wants to stay there and get paid. He did some highlights, but it wasn't the most amazing, spectacular show. If he would have won that game, he probably would have solidified getting paid.
Sure.
Um,
But it's the
uh,
Eagles, right?
it's
I
the
mean,
Eagles, yeah. That's the thing. Like he had to beat the Eagles and in the playoffs.
but that's okay.
And
So that's my question. Did he have to beat the Eagles to solidify a spot, or was the fact that he got him to the playoffs with no roster? Again, no roster except Saquon Barkley. He had nobody around him. Nobody
well, they
around
got
him
Isaac
except
Hodgins
Saquon
at
Barkley.
the end of or in the middle of the season, but
Nobody
I
stayed healthy though, and
no, that's the thing.
he still
You
got him to
can't
the
blame a
playoffs.
guy either.
He still got him past. No. Absolutely. Like if he doesn't stay a Giant, he definitely hooks on somewhere. He definitely starts somewhere, and he definitely has, at least a mediocre, competitive career for the team he gets put on. Because if he can do that with the Giants, then he can play on any team in the NFL. Because there's just as
think
much talent on the Giants as anywhere else, with the except. I mean, obviously Saquon Barkley. Is he an elite back? Can we say that after one season? I don't know. He was an elite back. He definitely looked good this year. Elite.
is he going to stay?
Yeah. Another question, right? Do the Giants want to lose them both? If they lose one, they're not going to, I mean, the Giants are not going to give Barkley away. They're going to, do everything they can to keep him. Barkley will stay. They will do everything they can to keep Barkley. I just don't know if they try to keep Jones or not.
I read somewhere that what if they trade Barkley away and then take Bijan Robinson out of Texas out of the draft, take him first and get that way you don't spend any money. You get a cheap rookie who can basically do similar things, and you have room to make moves elsewhere that your club needs it.
And you can't really argue it because you're getting you're getting a brand new car, you're trading in the used one. The used one's still, it's got a Carfax report, but it looks really good right now. It's running great. You can get some really good money if you sell that car, if you sell that Barkley, and get yourself, a potentially top-notch rookie. The only problem, of course, is that you never know what you're going to get, and we see that every year in the draft.
But you know what? There's also a lot of quarterbacks. It's quarterback heavy, and then in this draft, there's a couple of quarterbacks that could be something. And then next year there'll be another one, another heavy QB because a couple of guys are coming out. So it's not like there's not QBs out there that can take it. So paying a guy a ton of money who hasn't done enough to solidify a huge payday. A good amount. He can get a good paycheck, but he's not going to be top 5 pay. Like it's not going to happen.
But I don't think he's earned that yet either. I mean, he's tried, but again, he also hasn't had anybody around him. Again, I don't blame the guy, but I agree with you. I can't wait for draft season. Bengals and Bills. Again, I had the Bills to win. I told you I woke up. I knew the Bengals were going to win this game. They had control the entire time. Not at any moment were they in any danger of losing this game. And so we bring up the Bengals and KC. Now, I haven't given my picks for who's going to the Super Bowl yet. But first of all, this Chiefs-Bengals game, I still remember last year's, and it was phenomenal. And I'm 100% looking forward to this matchup. I think it's going to be another phenomenal game. And I think this is one of those games where either team could win. And I honestly say that, like, I believe that. I think either team could win this game. I don't think there's an advantage for anybody except for the fact that Mahomes is not going to be 100%. And we can say that with confidence. Mahomes, we don't know where he's going to be. If he's going to be 80%, 60%, 90%, he will not be 100%, however. But the thing is, it doesn't matter that he's not 100% with his legs because he's still going to be 100% with his mind. And that's really where his bread and butter is these little shuffle passes, these little side passes, these little backyard schoolyard plays that he gets away with because he's so smart and so talented. Again, I don't know that it matters that he has a bum wheel. I think he can still push that thing over, over 150. I don't know.
Yeah, I could see either one winning. The more I really think about it and you look at the rosters and you're like, there's no big names on the Chiefs. How could you pick them? I'm like, how could you not? Also,
There's only two. There's only
like
two.
it was really good last year. I think the Bengals, they could take it. Like this one, it's a flip of a coin for me. Like I'll just pick one and like, all right, Burrow looks too calm in that pocket, so he is focused, lasered in.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't.
That's kind of the thing, right? Is like it seems like they have the momentum.
Yeah,
it seems like
they got the momentum big time.
Flying in, and it's to me
going into
pressure,
the Bills with the snow and then winning.
Yeah, and it seems like the pressure is on the Chiefs, to me. Whereas Joe Cool, I don't think Joe Cool has the pressure on him. Now, get to the Super Bowl, I think he has pressure on him because he got there last year and lost. But this game, I don't think there's any pressure on him. I think the pressure is on Kansas City because I think they're expected to win. I think, now that Mahomes, everybody's watching him because of Mahomes' leg, the fact, that they have won the Super Bowl recently, trying to get back. Obviously going to be a great game, but again, I think the pressure is on Mahomes, and it's bad enough when Joe Burrow is feeling confident and cool with pressure. Now he's feeling confident and cool, and he doesn't have the pressure. Good night.
Yeah, his offensive line is doing a really good job of blocking. They were
the guys back there having tea and calling his mom, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, I got to throw this ball. I know, Mom, I love you. Like, Mom, I got it. I will be there. I will be there for Thanksgiving. I really got to throw this ball right now."
No, yeah. I love you too. No, you hang up. You hang up. That's what it's like. And it wasn't like that at the beginning of the year. And now it's like there's holes. The pocket's beautiful, and I'm like, they changed something. They did it right, and
they're playing to win. They look great.
I mean, if the Chiefs had Tyreek Hill, I think it would be a 50-50. I'm probably going to have to lean Bengals.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think.
Well, I think that's what a lot of people are going to do.
Yeah. Like I'm not going to bet against anybody on this one. Like I'm not going to take any bets for that game.
No.
Just wouldn't do it.
I don't know what the spread is, but if it's more than 2, I'll take it. Because I think it's going to be a close one. Cowboys, 49ers. Expected this to be a great game.
Yeah.
And then Dak happened.
Thanks, Dak. Guess who else I won't be drafting?
Yeah, which always happens to Cowboys fans. I would like to say I feel sorry for Cowboys fans, and then I see videos of guys throwing their TVs in the driveway and running them over their truck or punching their TVs or doing all this stuff. And it's like, what? I love it. Like, I hate the Cowboys.
Like, you are a fan. Good for you. Like,
congratulations. Can you imagine? Have you seen the video?
I have not seen those.
There's a guy who picks up, it's got to be a 65-inch screen at least, picks it up, unplugs it, carries it out, has to carry it through the house, out through the garage, tosses it in the driveway, goes over, gets in his truck, starts it up, the little mirrors come out and stuff. He pulls forward and backs over his TV, peels out on his TV, shoots frame. It's fantastic. Just the amount of effort that this gentleman takes to destroy this TV, which clearly was the reason the Cowboys lost. His 65-inch television. Was
blame the TV. I don't know if anybody knows this, but it's not like Dak threw an interception with 1 second to go. And listen, I know they were driving down the field. They didn't really count. But it's not like he threw the 4th interception or fumbled the ball at the 1-yard line, lost. It wasn't that dramatic at the end. Like, you knew they were going to lose. It was
I don't think that Dak really played that bad. I think what what really kind of decided the game
2 interceptions
when Pollard
got hurt,
cut his ankle off and threw it to a fan in the stands. I don't know, like you saw the injury. It's seldom you see an ankle bend like that. But when they lost Pollard and had to rely on Zeke, and I'm a Buckeyes fan, I love Zeke. But he's not it anymore. He doesn't have it anymore. And without Pollard offset him, you can pretty much, cash that one out. And so now he's stuck. He's got Schultz, he's got Lamb, and that's about it, because they tried to, the Cowboys made a mistake. They screwed up. They banked on Gallup being the number 2, coming off an ACL injury, and that's a bad gamble to make.
Yeah. But what's funny, one of the funniest parts of this game was like, okay, this is the last play. Zeke is under center and he gets trucked, just flat out ran on. Like, could you give the guy some help? Like, he doesn't do this. Like, he runs forward through the holes, but no, he gets one person lined up in front of him and gets trucked, ran over. And what's the next thing you hear on Twitter or whatever social media? Zeke saying, "I'll take a pay cut." No shit. You're going to get a pay cut. You're getting a pay cut. That's not a question.
You're getting a pay cut from another team. That's what you're gonna get.
You're not. What is it? 80 million he's supposed to make? Yeah.
Is Dallas
half that?
Okay, so
sorry, Zeke. I'm no hate. I'm just saying, like, it was just so funny to me.
Pick one to get rid of, Zeke or Dak.
Zeke.
Yeah.
I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised
just because Pollard's there. I mean, Pollard is the better back now. He's younger, he's faster, he's healthier. Like overall, like just more energetic, more speed. It looks like just more excitement off the ball.
And now you have to worry about how this ankle heals, and is he gonna be the same next year. But the 49ers, they were on fire. George Kittle is one of my favorite players in the entire league because the guy's just off the rails.
He's looking for the camera all the time, and I love that.
He's nuts. He's absolutely insane. He kind of looks like your older brother, or I guess younger brother, right? The guy's nuts. He's like, there's something wrong with him, and that's why I love the guy. But they're doing all this with Brock Purdy with either the second coming of Brady or the second coming of Foles. We don't know yet. We'll find out. Stay tuned. We'll find out next year. They're playing phenomenal. Defense wins championships. I fully believe that. And the 49ers defense playing absolutely lights out right now with the defensive, but the most likely defensive player of the year. If the Cowboys win that game, maybe Fitzpatrick passes him, but I don't think he would have. I think Bosa had it locked up, but that entire defense is just playing insane.
Yeah, there's 3 good defenses playing this weekend, and one of them's not on Kansas City. The other 3 have pretty good defenses. They all look.
They don't need a defense though. They're like an NBA team. We're not even going to play defense. We're just going to play offense.
Yeah, here's the problem with having a really good offense and a poor defense. You get the ball, you're Mahomes, you run it down the field. You're on the field for 3.5 minutes. Your defense comes out and they have to be on the field for 8 or 9 minutes. You run it down the field again, 3.5, 4 minutes. Then your defense comes back out and does another 8, 9, 10 minutes. Guess what? Your defense is getting gassed while your offense is really good. It's a game plan, and you can't just run it down the field. If you have a great offense or defense and they get out 3 and out, that's really good because it's going to give them some downtime, but they're tired and gassed. They can't be going at 8, 9, 10, 11-minute drives, and then the offense comes out and boom, just 75-yard touchdown. It'll tire your defense out later in the game. So
I would think if we're ranking defenses, I agree. I think Chiefs defense is probably 4th in this group that we have left. Who's number 1? Because you have 3 great defenses right now. Rank the other 3 if you dare.
It's kind of like who have they played? Look in my eyes of like, okay, well they Eagles played the Giants. It's not a high-powered offense. Niners played Dallas, and Dallas was good like 3 games this year. So
Pollardless Dallas, but
Pollardless, yeah. So like, I mean, sure they look good, but
Well, I mean, if you're going to compare it like that, then yeah, the Bengals would come out on top because obviously the Bills have the most talented offense there, and the Chiefs would come out number 2 because the Jags offense has been firing all cylinders lately.
Jags are I can't admit to that. Just because Jags threw 4 touchdowns for the first time in the season doesn't make them hot right now. It just means they just
maybe a little overreaction, but I do think they're a much better team. I love I think the coaching pickup is one of the best. Same with the Giants. I think the Giants coaching pickup there is fantastic as well. Out of these teams, before we move into this weekend, so you got Jags, Chiefs, Giants, Eagles, Bengals, Bills, Cowboys, 49ers. Which of these 8 teams is back here next year? I mean, obviously, can be more than one. Well, let me do it like this. Let me make it easier. Are the Jags back here next year?
Yes.
Are the Chiefs back here next year?
Yes.
Are the Giants back here next year?
No.
Yeah, see, that's a no for me. Are the Eagles back here next year?
Yes.
Yeah. Are the Bengals back here next year?
Absolutely.
Bills?
Yeah.
Cowboys? Tough one, right? That's like the question.
They'll make the playoffs, I think,
But will
but
they make the Elite Eight here, if you will?
I mean, if they do, I'm making a bet that they win it, hopefully, because they can't
Yeah.
keep losing at that spot. They can lose the
Well,
first or
they've done well so far.
yeah, they've been pretty good. So I mean,
the Niners, are they back here next year?
I mean, I don't know
but-
their situation by who's coming back and who's not and who's trading and stuff, but I would say they could do that again.
So you're basically saying that 7 of the 8 teams are all coming back. That's probably pretty unlikely. Although,
oh yeah, absolutely unlikely.
But we've got three of last year's Final Four in the Final Four again. Eagles being the newcomers to the show. The Eagles are my NFC pick. They have been ever since the playoffs. Kansas City was my Super Bowl pick until I saw Cincinnati play last weekend. Yeah. I am officially gonna go ahead and flop and say that Cincinnati. And it's because I have absolute 1000% faith, always have, in offense wins games, but defense wins championships. You would be hard pressed and challenged to find a Super Bowl champion in recent history, let alone altogether. I guarantee you the vast majority, I would say probably a 90% majority of Super Bowl champions had outstanding defenses. Best defense in the league didn't need that, but outstanding defense, one of the best defense in the playoffs, 100%. Defense just wins championships. And you look at, even if it's, the play where beast mode 100% should have got the ball, didn't, you see the defense make the play and win the game. I mean, it's always the defense. The offensive player always gets the MVP and blah, 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 but it's defense that wins championships as far as I'm concerned, for my money. And so when you talk about Bengals Chiefs, I got to put the Bengals in above the Chiefs. I'm officially changing my position.
So you're saying
making money off it, but yeah.
Eagles Bengals in the Super Bowl.
So I'm changing to Eagles Bengals. I still have the Eagles winning it though. I won't make that change. I just think, fantastic. I think we're getting a fantastic Super Bowl. I think we get a better Super Bowl, honestly, if it's Eagles Bengals than Eagles Chiefs. And again, that's because of the defense. But Mahomes is a superhero, so
I think Eagles Bengals would be better, and it would be more exciting. A lot of defensive plays and a lot of offensive plays that are explosive and exciting. So I think that would be way better. Just because like I said, Tariq Hill was still on the Chiefs, it would be a different story. But and a lot
of people are pointing that out, that Hillless Kansas City's still here.
It's you can have a lot of elite wide receivers and running backs. If your QB's garbage, it's not going to carry you there. So, I mean, Josh Allen wasn't in the Bills wouldn't be where they're at. It's just not going to happen. And one of the best fantasy teams for defenses was the Patriots, but their QB situation, wide receivers were nothing. They had a decent running back, but the quarterback play wasn't there. Their offensive plays weren't there. So it's just you got to have a couple players.
We will get into this probably some next week, and then definitely the last show of the year about who's going to make changes, who's going to make pickups, where do we see people going, who's going to improve, blah blah blah. But out of the Elite Eight, I'm going to dial it back. Jaguars, Chiefs, Giants, Eagles, Bengals, Bills, Cowboys, 49ers. Who didn't belong in this group? Who shouldn't have been here? See, I would have said the Jags.
and the Jags.
I agree with you with the Giants. I'll pick one each conference, right? And then I'm okay. One for the AFC, one for the NFC. And yeah, I agree with you. Jags and Giants. Everybody else 100% should be here. Although I think the Cowboys, even though the entire division went basically, I still see the Cowboys as the best of the worst in that situation. So what I mean by that is when you look at the NFC, there was the Eagles. Not so much at the beginning of the year, by the end of the year, there was the Eagles, there's the Niners, just like we have now. And then I think there's like a big separation, unless I'm missing somebody in the NFC.
Like the Chargers being there over the Jags was more sexy. It was more
AFC wise, no 100% because you want the number one rusher in the NFL. You want the young Herbert. But I mean, so getting into that, to bring that, we have the youngest assembly of quarterbacks that in a very, very long time. So all the changes the NFL has been trying to do, all these pickups, all these GMs deserve a raise because they did their job to perfection when they picked these guys up. None of these players have been in the league that long. Of course, Mahomes, we already know his accolades, but you've got, and even if Jimmy G had been there, he would have been the oldest of the group, but it could have just easily have been Trey Lance. And so it would still fit the profile. So whether you got Trey Lance or Brock Purdy, the GMs did their job to perfection. And now we've got this amazing thing. And the problem is that what does it do for everybody else? Because now the best quarterbacks in the league are the young guys. And for a long time, you had a nice mix. You had the Peyton Mannings, you had Aaron Rodgers, you had Eli there for a while, you had Drew Brees. You had the older
talent.
Yeah, the veterans were the ones carrying the teams. Now you've got this outstanding bank of elite passers, and these guys all deserve the title of elite, unless I'm wrong, unless I'm missing something. Regardless, some of them have only been in the league for a couple of years, with the exception of Brock Purdy. But you have this bank of elite passers, these young guys. What does that leave for the veterans? I mean, is it over? Can the veterans get back? Can they reclaim the crown, or is it just going to be these guys?
It's going to be these guys turning into veterans.
Josh Allen,
Yeah. It's going to be these guys turning into the veteran. There's not really a lot of mixture of the middle-aged guys. It's like all of these young guys been in like 4 or 5 years. So I think just this young flock that keeps coming in. You're looking at college with all these young guys. I feel like there's a lot of new guys coming in. So
yeah, I mean, even guys with that aren't. You got Herbert, you got Tua, you got even Geno Smith. You've got I don't know. I'm missing some guys, but the ones that have been around, your Aaron Rodgers and even your mid-tier guys like your Lamar Jackson.
That's a whole nother conversation.
That's a whole other combo that we don't have time for tonight, but we'll get into it at another time. Before we sign off, here we are. We're at the Final Four. I don't think there's really a surprise anywhere other than the fact that Brock Purdy has gotten this far. But the Niners as a team, I don't think is a big surprise to be here. We talked about our Super Bowl picks. You've got, are you taking a stance?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the Eagles Bengals.
Eagles Bengals. Okay, so we're both going Eagles Bengals.
Yeah.
I have the Eagles winning it. Who do you have winning it? No.
I want the Eagles and Jalen Hurts to take this one down.
You want them to win it. You know what's funny is I actually want Burrow to take it.
So do I.
But I really think the Eagles are going to take it.
I think I want Jalen Hurts to take it because nobody gave him confidence. He got, yanked out of the college championship game. He had to leave Alabama and go to Oklahoma. And that's probably why I want him to win. I got a little Oklahoma blood in there. But I am not scared of Burrow never coming back to the show.
Oh,
Burrow will be back. I mean, he has elite.
Or does Burrow turn into the next Dan Marino?
No.
What did I just say? Did I do that?
No.
I mean,
Yeah,
Jinx it.
can't
'Cause
curse
Dan Marino,
kickers.
I was a big Dan Marino fan. I still am. I love Dan Marino. That was my quarterback. And yeah,
I'm saying they're going to
I
have to win
God, I hope not.
in the next 3 years, 3 4 years.
Well, yeah, because
But
the next round of guys is coming in, right? And the game's
yeah, I
built
mean,
for the young now. All right,
so
so we're both going Eagles, so nothing to separate there.
and both Bengals.
Yeah, there it
Well, we'll
is.
see. We'll see.
Way to go out on a limb, guys. But yeah, I mean, you can't really go out on a limb with these four, right? Unless you, I mean, I suppose the biggest way to go out on a limb would be to say that the 49ers will make it. But even that, the way they've been playing, I mean, I think that's where you'll make the most money this weekend, is if the 49ers win. But I don't think it's completely out of the question.
Yeah. I don't
I
think
mean,
the spreads are going to be big enough to make a difference. You'd have to
no.
do something like the
Well,
scores
I didn't say
2
you're
to
going to make a
nothing in
lot
the
of money.
first
I said you're
quarter.
going to make the
Yeah.
most money.
Yeah.
You
Like
might
you got to
make
do like
20 bucks.
2-0 in the first quarter. That's what it's going to be, you know.
Yeah,
Like
the little sub
that's where
bets.
you're going to make your money.
Yeah. Hey everybody, it's been an amazing season. Super Bowl, contenders playing this weekend, and next time we meet, we will have two teams head of the Super Bowl. Will we be surprised? That's why they play the game any given Sunday. Throw in your cliche. I'm excited for football this weekend. I don't know about you. I am excited for football this weekend. Finish this up. There it is.
You know, you said it perfectly. You're excited for football this weekend. We got to find out who's going to the Super Bowl. We got to, they get a week off, kind of, while they do the Pro Bowl fun thing and all the fun activities that they'll be doing there. But I'm just excited to just watch a little bit more football and say, only a couple more months till football season, so we got to, get ready for the draft and see what all the moves they're making. So fantasy football is over for the most part, outside of some your basic leagues.
Yeah, if you're over there at Elite Fantasy Games, you're still playing. Go over to EliteFantasyGames.com. They still have games going on. You can still win money. Elite Fantasy Games for all your fantasy football needs. And you'll find some other cool stuff there too. A lot of fun over there.
Yeah, but like right now, you're still paying attention to what's happening, because I knew people in the league like, well, I don't know they're on what team now. I was like, yeah, that was like 3 months ago. So, you do have to kind of pay attention a little bit, just kind of check some fantasy news and whatnot. But I'm excited. Let's go. I'm going to see who's going to go to the Super Bowl.
Let's do this. Go check out EliteFantasyGames.com. Look for the Effin Sports Show. You'll hear more about it as we go on. Premieres on Friday, so keep an eye out for that. Just enjoy this slate of games. I remember last year I said there's no way we're going to have playoffs better than this, and these ones have been pretty good. Not better, but I think we can get a definite show out of both these games this weekend. Y'all be safe out there. Have a great time, and I'll leave you with this little fun fact. Did you know that this is not the first time that Brock Purdy and Jalen Hurts have faced each other? I bet you knew this, Roop.
Yep. There was like 9 touchdowns in that game.
Were you at that game? Were you at that game? Oklahoma jumps up huge in the first half. Second half, third quarter goes fairly even, and Brock Purdy turns it on about midway through, almost orchestrates comeback. They get down. They're 1 point away. They can kick the extra point and go for overtime or go for the win. Breece Hall is there. Brock Purdy is there. And coach says, you know what? You got to risk it for the biscuit. Heroes die, but legends die, heroes get remembered. I don't remember what the hell it is. But anyway, they go for the win. And just like that team up north did versus Ohio State, they don't get it and they lose. And Jalen Hurts walks out with a win, but not the first time that they have met. Go look that up. Enjoy.
I want to say I was at that game.
I wouldn't be surprised if you weren't. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy these games. Everybody be safe. I know not everybody's doing it, but happy fantasy football, and everybody come back next week. Let's jack some football. Yeah, Trench is still out there.